Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me. This is Ciara from Ciara T Designs, and today I have these really fun fall cards to share with you. So let's jump right in. So as always, I am going to cut down my cardstock to start. I have an A2 sized base already ready, which is 4¼ by 5½ when scored. And then I'm going to cut down a piece of watercolor cardstock. This is going to be about 1/4 inch smaller on each side, giving me just this really nice border all the way around. I opted not to add a mat to this card design. You guys know, generally, if you've been with me any length of time, I love a good mat. It helps the colors pop. But for this one, I chose not to add it. I think that it would have taken away from that beautiful brown glitter cardstock you're going to see me use in a little bit. So I opted not to add one, but of course you absolutely can if that's how you want to roll. So I am still going through and using all of my older products. So I'm going to bust out the Tim Holtz brush stroke stamps. This is an older stamp set. It has these beautiful painterly stamps in it, and I thought it would be really fun to use this large circle shape. I've never used this stamp, so I was kind of trying to come up with a fun and creative way to use it, and this is what I came up with. So I have my Misti, which has a waffle flower sticky mat in the bottom, so it holds my cardstock. And I'm adding 3 colors of Oxide ink. You've seen there. I have Candy Apple, Seedless Preserves, and Wild Honey. And I'm just stamping them on top of each other. It does give me a little bit of contamination, but that's not a big deal. I use a paper towel and I just wipe it off. And usually it's only a problem with the lightest color, which in this case is Wild Honey. The other two didn't really show much. Although do keep in mind, if you use them, you might have, like when you use them next time, you probably have a little bit of contamination in it, but I like to use my products. I'm not worried about that because as a general rule, I can wipe it off with like a baby wipe or something if I need to, or like a paper towel, and then just re-ink it, and then I don't have any contamination from another color. So I like to use my products. You use them however you feel comfortable. You could, of course, put one color on at a time and build it from there. I don't like to do that. I like them to kind of meld together, which is why you also see me spraying water on the stamp before I stamp it down, giving me that just a little bit more of the colors kind of melding together and giving me some oxidization in my oxides. If you don't like that kind of chalky-esque finish that oxides give, do this in distress inks. You can do it in any ink, it doesn't matter. But I think that the oxides with that little bit of extra chalkiness just really add to a really cool textural element. So completely up to you. Use whatever inks you enjoy, but you guys know, if you've been with me for any time, oxides are my jam. I love them. I bust them out for almost every occasion, and I could not resist for this project specifically. I did go in, this is some acrylic paint. This is just a gold, and I splattered it across the card front just because, again, I like texture and dimension. And then I did mist a little bit of water on top as well, just again for a little more dimension and texture. If that's not your jam, totally skip that step, but it just adds a little bit of something extra. And then if you're not super happy with your background, it kind of distracts the eye a little bit and you don't even really notice. You know, if your two colors didn't meld together, or maybe they made a little bit of brown because yellow and purple make brown. So, I mean, for me, that didn't matter in this project because it's fall. So if you get a little brown in there, not a problem. That's perfectly okay. But something to definitely keep in mind. And then I brought in the leaf fragment dies. Now these, I have a set from when they were first released, but they were somewhat recently re-released, so hopefully they're still available if this is something you want in your collection, which if you like leaves as much as I do, these leaves are phenomenal. Make sure you grab them because they are a great addition to any crafting stash. So I did run those through in this piece of stunning brown glitter cardstock from Simon Says Stamp. This came in a mixed pack. Hopefully it's something that's still available. I don't know what the color is even called, so I'll have to go and try to find it. But as always, everything I can link to is available in the description, so you can go and check it out. And if for some reason you don't see something, leave me a comment and ask me a question. I do respond to all the comments that are left. Sometimes it takes me a little bit of time. I believe I'm currently caught up. But just bear with me. But if you ever have a question about anything I've used or, any measurements of something or anything like that, leave it in the comments for me and I will respond. It just sometimes takes me a few minutes. So, or, a week or two. It just depends. But yeah, so then I'm going to poke out all the little holes from the back. I specifically do that with glitter cardstock because some of them have like a plastic coating over the top. And I find this tends to be the easiest way for me to get glitter cardstocks to let go. Now, if I had used my detail die, my like chrome base plate instead of my magic mat, these would have die cut better. I was just too lazy to grab it. There's no, right or wrong here. Use whatever works for you. The magic mat, as you can see, did work, though I did have to run the 2 leaves that were on the outside of my piece of cardstock through more than once just to get them to cut the holes, especially throughout these kind of leaf fragments. But there's, again, use whatever you've got. A manually die cutting machine will work great too. I just happen to have a Switch. I love my Switch. It just sits beside me to the left of my camera where my glass mat sits. But I like to use the magic mat most of the time because it does help me save on plates. Whereas the chrome base plate does the opposite because it warps plates, something awful. But it works beautifully with anything that's a bit detailed or a bit finicky to cut. Like I like to use it for Yupo, glitter cardstock as a general rule, that kind of stuff that's just a little bit more finicky to cut, or any really, really delicate dies. I think that's one of the easiest things to use. And then for my sentiment, you could literally change this to anything. I have been looking over my stash. If you guys know, I have a market coming up, a pretty large one. It usually averages about 15,000 people through. So I'm kind of trying to round out my collection of cards that I have on hand. So I went with something that was a little more inspiring, a little more uplifting, but you could change this to a birthday. You could change this to thank you, especially like a fall thanks because Thanksgiving is coming. For Canadians, it's actually like in a week. I know Americans, it's not until November, but you could really switch up the sentiment to be anything, really. I think these cards lean themselves well to a lot of different sentiments. So I'm going with happy thoughts because I just wanted something uplifting and inspiring, but anything would work here. So change it out to be what you happen to need. And if you don't need anything yet, leave it blank and just add the leaf and then stamp it later. I mean, I generally try to make a full card design for you guys so you can see it in its full, like how it's going to be laid out, so that if anybody's struggling with sentiment placement, this kind of gives you an idea. But if you don't have a need for the card right away, set it aside and you can easily add a sentiment to it later. And if you've not left yourself a lot of room, heat emboss it. You could easily take and like heat emboss on a little piece of cardstock and like slip it in behind the leaf. Because on the leaves, except for the one that I had a bit of a miscut on, I'm only adhering the center of the leaf so that I can prop them up and have a little more dimension. So you could easily slide a sentiment, underneath the leaf if you needed to, if you like wanted to wait and then you didn't leave yourself enough room. So there's always a way to fix a card, I promise. So I did have some fun with these cards, and I think that these fell really well into my October challenge. I host a challenge over on my Facebook group every month, and October is Get Inky, and I think these guys kind of really lean themselves well to that sentiment. So if you're struggling with ideas for the challenge, give something like this a go. Some kind of solid-ish stamp, mist it with some water, splatter it a little, get it inky, get in there and just have a really fun play and make something that makes you smile. Because at the end of the day, that is the whole purpose of my channel, is to give you guys inspiration and to hopefully bring some lightness to your day. I know we're all, adulting is hard. So if we can, if I can bring some happiness and inspiration to you, that is my whole goal. So hopefully you guys will, recreate this and have some inspiration for some kind of fun design. And then if you ever make anything inspired by me, please tag me so I can see it. It's a huge part of my channel is getting to see what I've inspired in others. So even if all you're inspired by is the color palette, but you don't really like the kind of messiness of the card, that's okay. Just tag me so I can come and check out your project and leave you a little bit of love on your post. So please tag me. And I'm on all the social medias, like Instagram. I don't really look at TikTok much. I'm on there, but I feel so old for TikTok. But like Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, I'm on all the things. So you can, kind of tag me on fun stuff, and I'll come and check it out and see what you guys have made. So you can always do that. And of course, you can check out my Facebook group if you want to as well. There's a link in the description. You do have to respond to 2 questions. It's just to make sure that it's not a bot just trying to join the group. And it's really easy questions. It's literally just, how did you find out about the group? And like, are you going to be respectful to others? Because of course I am trying to make a very safe and, accepting environment. So please come join. You can come and join the challenge. It obviously just started. So, because we were just like into October, but yeah, come and check it out. And then there is a smaller circle stamp in that set as well. And I used that to stamp on the inside. So I'm going to stamp with the same 3 colors. I'm going to use the purple one twice, which was Seedless Preserve. I'm going to use it twice. And then I'm going to use Wild Honey twice. And then I used Candied Apple once, because you get so much more of the Candied Apple on the front, whereas the leaf kind of covers a lot of the Wild Honey. You do lose a little bit of that. But the problem is I don't always know what I'm going for in my design. So I don't always know, where everything's going to fall until I'm finished. So I wish that a little bit of the Wild Honey showed more, but it is what it is. I didn't know. So I did like to put it in 2 of the card fronts. And of course, purple is my favorite color. So I had to add that in 2 of them as well. But you can skip this step. I'm just trying to add stuff on the inside of my cards to make them a little more interesting when someone purchases one at like one of the markets and whatever, and then they open it and it's got this kind of like fun splash of color, so hopefully people appreciate that. I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, the market's coming, so we shall see. And then of course I had to go in and add some beautiful black or brown pearls. These are kind of like a chocolatey brown pearl. Hopefully I can list you to some in the, in the shops. If not, I'll try to list you something as close as I can, as always. But yeah, so that is the card design I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll leave me a like, leave me a comment, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'm sure you guys have heard me say multiple times, I am, really hoping to hit 20,000. It's my dream to grow the channel, and every new subscriber really helps. So if you're not subscribed and you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you've made it all the way to the end of the video here, please leave me a fall kind of emoji, any kind. It could be a leaf, it can be something that makes you think of fall, maybe like a coffee, or a tea, or a pumpkin, or whatever fall emoji you can find. Leave that for me, because it's always nice to know who stays all the way through the video, because that also supports the channel. So thank you so much. And if you are subscribed, thank you. I greatly appreciate you for helping me, achieve my dreams. And if you're a member, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I cannot express how much I appreciate your support and keeping this channel going. So I really, really appreciate that. I can't even put into words. And I do have my new website coming very, very soon. I'm hopefully going to have a couple of freebies that are available on it as well, so you guys can come check it out, check out what I'm up to. I have some digital designs coming, just all sorts of stuff. So I've got lots in the works. Just bear with me as I kind of try to work through it all. But I hope you guys have an amazing day. I hope you enjoyed these cards. And like I said, let me know your thoughts on these fall designs. I've been having a lot of fun with fall. I haven't done as much Halloween as I thought I might, but the fall has been a lot of fun. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you again very soon. Bye-bye for now.